Tuesday's Tips and Tricks.
Yeah.
Hey folks, we're back for another Tuesday's Tips and Tricks. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Nathaniel.
And we're going to be showing you how to acclimate your fish.
So when you come out to the nursery and you come look at the fish in the fish house and you get some fish, we're going to send them home to you in a bag like this. There'll be water and we'll put oxygen in there. We'll tie it off with a rubber band, but we also put stress coat in the bag. It helps make the transition from their tank at the fish house out to your pond less stressful for them. But these guys, we picked out 3 Sarasa comets. They're a white fish, a white goldfish with red markings on the body and long tails. And we've named one of them, he's kind of a mutant fish. We end up keeping the mutant fish around here usually. He's got a short, blunt face, weird looking face. His name is Dobby.
Yay, look at little Dobby.
Let's see if we can see Dobby here.
Go? Hey Gimpy, where'd you go? There you are. Aren't you silly looking?
So if you guys want to name the other ones, feel free to suggest names. We have no idea right now if they're girls or boys. It's past spawning season, so the girls aren't as round as they would be in the earlier part of the year. So these guys we're going to add to this little pond. This is a brand new or redone pond, facelifted pond we have here at the nursery. Mark's been working on it and finally got it finished. And it's really, really deep. It's not very big around, but it does go down really deep. So we're going to add them to the pond and talk about how do you acclimate fish to your pond. So basically, you'll get these fish home to your pond, and you're going to take the rubber band off.
Now, if Nathaniel tied the bag for you, good luck getting it off easily.
You might have to just cut the bag open if I tie it for you. I don't want it to leak. I can get my rubber bands off, but most people tell me they can't get them off. So you're going to open the bag, because if this was in the sun, this pond's in the shade all day, every day. But if it was in the sun, you don't want to leave the bag closed, because then it's like a greenhouse and the bag just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And you need to let them float for about 15 minutes before you release them so the water temperature gets the same. So we'll leave the bag open and we're going to stick it in the pond alongside here somewhere. And then just take a rock, any rock, and pin that bag like this so that you're on one piece of plastic and off the other, so it stays open, but the bag doesn't escape and drift around in the water and the fish get out before their temperature is the same. You're going to let that sit for 15 minutes, and then every 5 minutes you're going to take a cup of water from the pond and pour it into the bag, and that gets the water chemistry the same. Now our water here is all pretty much the same chemically, so I'm not going to worry about doing that with these guys because we have well water. It's all from the same source. All the water should be roughly the same water chemistry, so they'll be fine. But at home, if you're using city water, your water chemistry might be different than what we have on the well, and so it's best to just go ahead and add a cup of water every 5 minutes. That means 3 times in a 15-minute period, and that gets the temperature and the chemistry the same, so the fish are ready to release. So we'll let these guys float, and then we'll come back here in a few minutes and release them. Alright, so it's been the time that they need to get the temperature the same, 15 minutes. And now we're going to release the fish into the pond and watch them go swim free. They'll probably hide from you a lot in the beginning until they get settled in. And they may not even eat the first few days. It's not uncommon. But once they get settled in, they'll get used to a feeding routine. They'll start coming up to feed, and they'll get more and more friendly the longer they're in your pond and the more consistent you are with your routine with the fish. I always roll the sides so it gets easier to deal with. It gets all the extra plastic out of the way. And then instead of just pouring them in, I like to kind of tip them gently and try to let them find their own way out. Sometimes they don't figure it out, and these guys may not. I may have to gently encourage them out. Yeah, they're not figuring it out. So we're just gonna pour them. And here they go. Oh, another point to make while we're here, this is a very small pond. We only put 3 fish in there. To be honest with you, that's probably all this pond will ever need is 3 goldfish. Goldfish are gonna get about this big someday. And 3 goldfish that big is plenty of fish for this pond. Not to mention, if we got boys and girls, they will make babies eventually. And so then you'll end up with a lot. So try to resist the temptation to overstock the pond. But especially in the beginning, if it's a new pond and it's never been fishing it before, just add a few. because you don't want to add too many nutrients to the water and then ammonia spikes and you start losing fish. So a few fish is better to start off with at least, and if it's a small pond, it might be all you need.
All right, folks, thanks for watching. This is your Tuesday's Tips and Tricks. We'll see you next week.
See ya.